Hi there and welcome to another workout for you to row along to. Today we're going back to May 2020 and revisiting a row. What we did then was 4 minutes at 24 strokes per minute at a kind of medium hard-ish intensity, followed by 1 minute at 30 strokes a minute at max intensity. 2 minutes rest, do it again, and you're doing that 4 times. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to get straight into a 4-minute warm-up, and then I'm going to go back to that video, and then we'll do a little cool down at the end, okay, if you can keep up with that. So, let's get into that warm-up, and we have to set up our machine first. So get to that drag factor, set it where you want it to be. If you don't know anything about drag factor, set it between like 4 and 5, and that's safe. Or just watch my video. That might help. I've got a video up here that'll tell you all about drag factor. Next up, go to your monitor and set it to eye height so you don't have to look up and you don't have to look down. And finally, if you can change the foot stretcher height on your machine, please get them to a point where you're able to come to the front comfortably with your shins pointing vertically. All right. Now I'm going to tell you more about the session during the warm-up, but for the time being, what I want you to do is we're going to do this at 20 strokes per minute, and I just want you to think about enough of a push that you can connect the power into the handle. Okay, I'll explain when we get going. So in 3, 2, 1, let's go. So the point here is you want to get your feet to push into the machine at the same time that your hands connect the handle to the flywheel or the water wheel or the magnet, whatever your machine uses. And it helps to have a forwards tilt over your hips and your arms straight when you do that. So you push your feet, and because your hands are forwards and you're tilted forwards, that gives you a better chance of connecting your arms at the same time. So continue just trying to work on that timing. Maybe increase that push from your legs. Remember, this is still a warm-up, not a hit the ground running as fast as you can up. Okay, so you just want to make sure you're letting your body ease into today's session. And the session is an interesting one. That little 1 minute sprint after the 4 minutes hard, it really knocks it out of you. So if you're used to a 2K training pace, then that first 4 minutes, you're going to do it 2K plus 12, which is intense enough as it is. Like I say, it's up there as a kind of a hard intensity. And then the 1 minute is a kind of max pressure. How much can you put into it? So there's no real guide there. It's just how fast can you go. Then you get that 2 minute rest. But it might only be 4 chunks of this. But you'll see from the video of me doing it back in 2020, it really took it out of me. And there was a lot more of me then as well. More hair and more of a stomach. So let's take 2 more strokes. 1 more, and then put 1 foot on the ground. Continue rowing. Okay, so putting 1 foot on the ground just helps continue this warm-up. You open your hips a bit more, gives you a little bit more flexibility because you're not kind of bound up with 2 legs strapped in. Take 3 more here, 2 more, 1 more. Okay, swap feet. I've maybe made a fatal flaw here. I've been lazy and not put my feet in the straps. And that's okay for now, and it'll be okay for the next chunk as well, but I don't know how legs only rowing is going to quite fare. But I'll find out. 2 more strokes. Okay, so let's put both feet back in, nice and straight. Row with your back and arms. So swing over your back, pull in your arms, out with your arms, back over your back again. And this just helps you get used to picking up that tension, the force of the stroke with your back first and then pulling on the handle. Okay, so let's roll to the front with straight arms and a forwards tilt and just press out with your legs. Press. In fact, in many ways, this is better to do strapless. Whole point here is you're still working on that connection, okay, between your feet and your arms. But you don't want to recoil. You're not pushing so hard that you're recoiling. I want you to hold and get used to driving in that forwards tilt and arms straight. And we're all done. So, like I say, I'm now going to cut to the video from 2020 for the main session. So make sure and have a good laugh at my expense at my beard and hair while you're there. And I'll see you when you're done with the workout for a cool down and a little bit of stretching. Today then we're going to be doing 4 minutes at 24 strokes a minute and run about 2k plus 12, followed by 1 minute at 30 strokes a minute at maximum pressure. Okay, then 2 minutes rest, you do that again, 2 minutes rest, do it again, 2 minutes rest, do it again, and you're done. Total of 26 minutes on the machine today. Remember, just keep up with me for the stroke rate. I'll keep you right for when we're going to be changing in and out of intervals, and of course I'll keep you company with tales of stroke rates and technique and tonight's jambalaya. Yeah, there you go, spoiler alert. Right, so you ready? So we're going to go 4 minutes, 24 strokes a minute at 2k plus 12, round about an effort level of 7.5 out of 10. They should have given you enough time to prepare, so here we go in 3, 2, 1, go. So remember, 24 strokes a minute is one every 2.5 seconds. So it's easy when you're doing this on your own without me to just look at the clock and just count down in 2.5s. I say that, I think I'm about half a stroke out right now. Hang on. Oh no, I'm not, I'm just... The PM's doing its little hiccup thing on me. So make sure you've hit your pace by now. Don't worry if your monitor shows 23 or 25 strokes. Sometimes it's just a quirk of how the monitor calculates. Anyway, so you should be at 2k plus 12 by now, easily. And it's quite an even stroke at 24. You shouldn't feel like you're racing up and down the rail, nor should you feel like you're really having to drive hard from the legs to get 2k plus 12. 2 minutes gone. Now, really think about your technique today, okay? Because the 30 strokes at max pressure is the kind of interval that, if you're doing it with poor technique, can lead to injury, because you're going full force at quite a high rate of transference between the front of the machine and the back. So really think about this being a drive from the legs and not a yank of the arms with a poorly positioned back. So you really want to lean in at the front and drive while still maintaining that forward lean. And then swing through the hips and pull in with the arms
as you get to the end of the leg drive. Okay, so in 20 seconds, we're going to get up to 30 strokes a minute and maximum drive, okay? 2 strokes, so 1, 2, here we go. Full force, come on. I want to see at least 10 seconds difference. Twelve, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Good job. Well done. So that's what I didn't say during the pace guidelines, is what max means. A max really means at least 10 seconds difference between what you're doing at 24 and what you're doing at 30, or better, preferably better. Excuse me. So I ended up 15 seconds faster there. However, I wasn't speaking to you. So I'll probably call that 13 seconds faster, because I said before about how I give myself 2 seconds leeway off my 2K training pace because I talk to you. It's okay, don't feel bad for me. I think the talking to you more than makes up for the cardio side of the fact I'm dropping 2 seconds. Oh, and plus, this isn't about me, this is all about you. I do my own training on top of these videos that I make for you. So don't worry about me. Okay, so we've got 25 seconds to go. And then we're going to go straight back into it again. So same pacing as before. So 4 minutes, 24 strokes a minute, 2K plus 12-ish. Don't know about you, but I don't feel too destroyed after that first one. So let's see how we get on. So in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. And actually, my heart rate got down to 56 in the 2-minute rest there. So my resting heart rate is around about, well, it's actually kind of between 36 and 40 most of the time. So if that's the case, say we're saying 40 for my resting heart rate, then I was only 15 beats above it after the 2 minutes recovery. But you should easily, comfortably be at pace and rate by now. 2K plus 12 should hit both your muscles and cardio equally. This shouldn't feel like an easy 20 strokes a minute, but it also shouldn't feel like a really tough 28. You can tell that I'm out of breath but I'm not destroyed. Although with tonight's chorizo jambalaya makes an appearance. Yes, chorizo. Listen to me. I'm a bit more destroyed then. It was lovely though. Pulled pork, chorizo, peppers, yummy. Apologies if you're vegan or vegetarian or don't like people saying Spanish words as though they're Spanish. Maybe a bit too spicy for a spicy workout. It's my concern. Okay, so 1 minute to go until the 30 strokes a minute, so really concentrate on driving with a engaged core, sensible 1 o'clock lean forward, followed by an 11 o'clock lean back. Not too far in either direction. You don't need an excessive layback to go fast. Okay, in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Up to 30. Come on. At least 10 seconds faster. Oh, wait. Look at this monitor fixed. Come on, 30 seconds. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sorry about that. Just as we hit the minute switch over, it paused for a second. And I ended up slightly out of rate. I mean, we pulled it back together, well done. So that by the end, we still did 30 strokes, but lockdown look is continuing. Kind of went from, at one point I thought I was looking like Hugh Jackman, then ended up looking a bit like Mark Ruffalo, and now I just look like the Gruffalo. This is a dad joke for you. It's just getting, I don't know. I was considering giving myself a Mohican or something, just like shave it and do that. But I know the moment I do that, I'll get a phone call saying I can no longer work from home and I'll have to go back into the office. Okay, 40 seconds to go. Then we're going to go into our third interval of 4 plus 1. It's a incremental workout. This one I certainly felt was tougher last time than it was the first time round. I'm currently 68, 67, 66, 65 for, I might drop back down to, what was the last time, 56 as we started. Just do some deep breathing. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. 57 BPM I got down to. So that shows the value of the 2-minute cool down. Is that I'm pretty much getting down to the same baseline across those two efforts. And to be fair, it's not like this is a resting heart rate anyway. So I'm in the middle of a tough workout. So this 2-minute recovery in between interval sets is really effective at recharging your body from a cardio point of view anyway, ready for the next interval. One minute down. So this is what I'd call a good lunch break workout, because you can fit it in to a lunch break, and it will, when done right, it will give you a good level of destruction. As long as you don't start falling asleep at your desk because you put in so much effort over your lunch break. Two minutes gone. Hopefully, as well as giving you a good workout, this switch up between stroke rates is teaching you a bit more control when it comes to rate. Remember, you want to hear a real whooshing acceleration from the flywheel as you drive, because you're laying in so much power, and then you spend some time recovering. One more minute, and then we hit the 30s again. Let's hope my monitor plays ball today, or this time round. Heart rate is 147. I'll try and remember and tell you what it is after the 30s. Okay, in 5, 4, 3, 2, right, 30 strokes a minute from now. Remember, max pressure. Try and get at least 10 seconds faster than your 24 stroke pace. Don't back off. 13, 12. Drive through the legs. Relax shoulders. Let the power come through. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 157, so exactly 100 clicks faster than when we started the 4-minute interval. So let's see what it gets down to then. Try and relax a bit. Do some meditation. Relaxing is the key. If you're tense through the rowing stroke, not only will you find it more difficult to get the power through your chain into the chain in the flywheel, it'll also affect your rhythm. You'll be a lot more kind of stuttery. You'll be like, like a Simpsons character or something. Whereas you want to flow, almost like Tai Chi. You're dancing with the machine. You drive out, you push away, you come forwards. You drive out, you push away, you come forwards. It might look like a pause on some people, especially on the water rowers, but it's not. All they're doing is they get to here, is getting ready to transfer the power forwards. They're not actually pausing. Well, that's what they say. I don't go anywhere near the water. I don't get wet. Not from outside in. I get wet from the inside out. If I've been too busy talking, moving around. We're at 12, 11, 10, and I'm at 75, 74, so I'm certainly nowhere near the 57s. Right, here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Yeah, 70 BPM that time, so just a definite cardiac drift of an upwards level. So remember what I was saying, nice and relaxed, so don't tense up at the front as you come in, don't panic. It's the same with the finish. Let the handle come in, and then push it away over your knees. You can think about bringing the handle in and pushing it away at the same speed. So, whoom, 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 like that. So there's no pause at the back. I'm not holding it to my chest. It basically taps my chest and I instantly push it away past my knees. So same at the front. Get into the front in the lean and then slam down the ankles or heels to drive through the stroke. I mean, for rowing machine rowing, there's no need to tap down with the handle and bring up at the front like this. There's no need on a concept 2. There is in the water, and if you're on the water rower, you may want to continue that technique on the concept 2. However, it can help to develop a rhythm if you think there's a table in front of you, okay? And as you go to the stroke, you drive over the top of the table, so over the top, and you return under the table. Top, under, top, under. Now, it's not a thick table. You're not in a posh mansion, so you're not going high and low like that. It's not this. It's just very subtle 1-inch table. So if you can think about coming across the top and back under the bottom, it might help with rhythm. Talking way too much. Okay. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 30 strokes a minute, come on. Last time. Give it everything. Don't hold back. Really push the machine away with your legs. Let the handle follow, but concentrate on pushing it away. Push it. Don't pull it. Oh, here we go, come on. Six, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh. 160 finish for the heart rate.
Okay, I hope you found that as fun as I did. It really is a tough workout, that one. So have a quick drink, get your composition back together, and then we'll jump into a cool down. Oh, right. We do this strapless or in straps, out straps, it's up to you. Just pick a similar pace to how we did the warm up, just enough that you can feel your body cooling down gradually instead of, well, I'll explain more as we start. So in 3, 2, 1, go. The point here is it's a cool down, so what you really want to do is kind of work hard enough that your heart rate isn't dropping as fast as you start, but then you kind of ease off the intensity during the cool down to help your system kind of gradually come into a stop, because you don't really want to be working hard and then your body just stops. That's when your muscles end up with loads of acids, if that's what it is, left in them, or so when your heart just gets a little bit unhappy from the fact that it was just up beating at kind of 90% of max, and then it's only a minute later doing nothing. So a cool down just kind of helps with that slide, and it also just gives you a chance to mentally decouple. I like that phrase. I'm very glad that Gwyneth Paltrow brought it up all those years ago. Decouple. It just helps you it's quite an intense session after all. So if you do a cool down, it just gives you a chance to just slide into a finish mentally. You're not focusing as hard anymore, and you can just clear the fog away from your head. And if you're doing the cool down with a good technique as well, That also means your body remembers how to row properly. Oh, especially if, like me, you are flapping around the machine like a dying salmon at the end of the final 1 minute. So there we go, that's the cool down done. We'll enter into stretching session next. If you don't have time to stretch, that's perfectly fine, but please stretch your quads and your hamstrings at the very least, okay? Not in the shower, I don't want you to slip and fall over, but make sure and stretch them at least, okay? Or Stretchy John has just appeared, top corner of the screen. You can follow him for some structured stretching, or you can follow me for some on the machine stretching if you don't have space to stretch off it. So, put your legs back in the straps, keep them a little bit loose, the straps that is. Put your hands in the air, and then just bend forwards. Okay, so you've got straight legs, and that's not bend, fold forwards is the word I'm looking for. So let's do that again, fold forwards. I'm not going to edit that, but you'll get what I mean. So point is that you're folding your chest down towards your legs rather than it being bend. Okay, so that's why I'm saying I used the wrong word when I said bend, because that makes it sound like you're rounding your upper or lower back. But if you do that kind of fold forwards, then you should get that stretch right up here into your hamstrings as you come forwards. If you don't, chances are you've maybe got a little bend to your knees, which you don't want to do. So let's do our glutes next. Put one leg up onto the rail. Bring your other leg over so that your heel is in the crook of your knee. Bring that knee up across your body. Hold it in place with your other arm. Hold onto the back of the machine to stabilize yourself, and then rotate down into that glute. Okay, so hopefully this will kind of get right in here for a nice little stretch. How much you pull this knee across your body can affect how much sort of stretch you get. Where you have the knee and kind of ankle placed, how high your ankle's placed to that knee, that can affect things as well. How much you rotate round into your glute, that all makes a difference. So let's change legs. Do the same again. Hold your knee in place, and it's always, they're going to rotate. It's always interesting to feel whether one leg is tighter than the other. So in this case, my left glute is a lot tighter than my right, and I couldn't tell you why. Can't think of any reason why my left one would be any tighter, but it's interesting, and it does make me wonder whether there's some kind of an imbalance going on, if that's the case. Or maybe I've just been sitting strange before I came out, who knows. But anyway, it's worthwhile stretching. So let's get off the machine, stand up next to it, and we'll do our quads. So you can hold onto the monitor to stabilize yourself if you want. Flick your foot up so that you can hold your heel against your backside, and then hold it in place, trying to keep a good posture with a straight line between your shoulders, hips, and knee. And hopefully the quad will get a stretch here. If you've got your positioning wrong, your posture wrong, if you're kind of leaning back or whatever, or leaning forwards, it can change, talking of change, let's swap legs, it can change where the muscle is getting stretched. So you really want it to be the quad, the big main meaty muscle at the front of your leg, not your hip flexor. So the hip flexor is right up at the top, up at your hips, funnily enough. And if you touch that, it should feel relatively relaxed, not completely loose, but relatively relaxed, especially compared to your quad. If your hip flexor is getting anything of a workout or stretch, you're doing it wrong. And we're about to do the hip flexor, so you don't need to do it. So hip flexor, put one knee on the ground, foot behind you with toes touching the ground, heel up in the air. The front foot, your knee is above your ankle, and you have a nice posture, and all you're doing is you're pushing this hip forwards, okay? So you push that hip forwards, the knee comes over the top of your ankle, but you have a good posture again. And what that should now do is give you a fantastic stretch into that hip flexor. So right up here, whereas before this felt nice and kind of loose, a little bit relaxed, now up here feels nicely stretched. So this will give me a chance to just stretch off that hip flexor. We'll swap legs. Now remember, it can be quite common for people to blame the hip flexor for tightness, when actually it's not the hip flexor that's the problem, it can possibly be hamstrings. So it's worthwhile doing a test just to check what your hip flexors are like, and you can check out the Jeff Cavalier Athlean X channel here on YouTube. Oh, someone just messaged me. And there's a good test on there for how to check if your hip flexors are tight or not. So, because there's no point stretching them if actually it's your hamstrings that's the problem. Right, let's do shoulders next. Oh, I had an itch there, I'm sorry about that. So hands straight in front of you, pointing directly, and then bring it across your body, so it's right against your body. Use your other arm to just add a little bit more force as you pull it against, and that should give you a nice little stretch up here. Remember, and relax, don't have it up in your ear, okay? So nice and relaxed to help that stretch come through, and that's important. And that should hopefully stretch your shoulder. It's quite handy. Let's swap over. Well, I always say this, but your shoulders shouldn't really take that much of a beating, because really they're just a link to the power. Fair enough, at the back of the stroke as you're pulling in, you might put in some power, but for the majority, especially at the front of the stroke, you shouldn't really be feeling it from your shoulders. You should be hanging off your shoulders. So if you're putting force in at that point, and you're getting some kind of, oh, this feels like it's hard work, chances are you're pulling early, okay? Instead of being straight arms, you're probably pulling early, and that's why your shoulders are in tenderness, let's say. So forearms next, hands together, wax on, wax off. And then push down, so keep pushing them together as you bring your hands down in front of you. And you should find that right in your wrists and underneath your, like the lower forearm, should get a really nice stretch now. And if you're pushing well enough, your fingers will get a nice stretch too. Because, well, you're rowing kind of, especially in that hooked position, can kind of cause just a little bit of kind of stiffness to your fingers. So this will then kind of stretch them back out quite nicely, I hope. Okay, so that's your forearms done. Next up, let's do biceps. So sit on your seat, swing your arms behind as though you're what's the word I'm looking for? Ski jumper, there we go. And then rotate your thumbs outwards, okay? And that just kind of lengthens out your biceps, the long head of your bicep, and will help you give it a nice little stretch as you do so. So like, ooh, look, stretchy biceps. But like I've recently said in previous videos, by doing this, you then also contract your triceps. So I can feel that my triceps are kind of like quite, I don't have big triceps, but I can feel that nice, kind of, they are very kind of tight and contracted from doing this. So that's why I do the triceps last. So let's do them. So hand up in the air, it goes round your back, touches your spine. Use your other hand to help that elbow back so that it's pointing straight up to the sky. Reach for the sky. I watched the Lightyear film a couple of days ago, actually. Holly, my youngest, and I went to see it, and it was lots of fun. I really enjoyed it. It's maybe not quite of the quality of a Toy Story, the kind of emotional side of it and whatever, but it doesn't need to be. It was still just a fun romp. Let's change arms. It was a Sunday morning, 10 o'clock in the morning showing as well, so it was just me and Holly in the cinema, and it was great. I don't really like people when they talk and make noise during the film, so to go for the first showing on a Sunday morning tends to be as few people there as possible. There we go, right. And that's us done. I was too busy talking that I've not realised I've got to the end. So again, it's one of these revisit videos because to be honest, I've got a huge archive of rows going back to like 2018, and although I'm not going to continue to kind of constantly just dredge up old ones, I think it's worthwhile at least kind of looking at them, if only so you can laugh at me with my silly haircut and beard and kind of various states of, do I have a stomach, do I not have a stomach, do I have biceps, do I not have biceps? It just shows how rowing can help. I actually think it's quite a good historical, if you look at the shape of me and whatever over the past 4 years, it just shows how the difference between thinking about nutrition and what I'm eating versus how much I'm training and all that kind of stuff, how it does make a difference. And I do tend to talk about it all in the video, so you do get an idea of, all right, this is when he was, because especially May 2020, that was right as lockdown had just hit. And I just kind of thought, oh no, we're all doomed, and kind of just ate all the food I could find and stuff. So, and you can quite clearly see that in the video. So anyway, so I do hope you enjoyed the row. I know I certainly did. It was a nice one to go back to. I will get back to regular programming of something else soon. There's something planned coming up, which I will let you know more about. But of course, I try and keep these in a time bubble. I don't want to talk too much about where we are in the world and time and stuff. So until another video, whether it's one of my app reviews or a technique tip or another row along workout, I do hope you take care of yourselves. So I'll see you in a future video. Be well. Bye-bye.